shit. No. But I don't respect the man with the toupee over there, your husband, because he's bringing up the bullshit. Okay. Now, how you gonna keep it real?
You're a nappy head, motherfucker.
Nappy head. I sound like some racist shit.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's what he's looking like.
He really got a toupee
That's what he's
on.
looking like. I'm sorry.
He really got a toupee.
He got a nappy head.
Listen, us African Americans.
What in the world? Nappy hair? Yo, these dudes, man. I feel horrible for Derek James. Definitely feel horrible. I don't know if I feel horrible for Bernard because I don't know if he necessarily stands on any business when it comes to this topic. But Derek James definitely looked out of his element. But let's talk about it. The press conference and the final press conference on the press run for the Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia fight for April 20th has just came and went. And, man, did it go down in a unexpected way. So Devin Haney comes out and Ryan Garcia comes out in rare form, of course. Had a couple of girls flipping around the stage and hula hoops in the circus. You know, he tried to make a show about it. But ultimately, coming into this press conference, everybody knows what was going to come into the press conference. Questions about Ryan Garcia's sobriety, as far as him drinking, smoking marijuana during the training camp that he's supposed to be getting ready for supposedly the biggest fight, possibly the biggest fight of his whole entire career at this point, not including, obviously, Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia's fight, which happened last year where Ryan Garcia got stopped, of course. I'm sure at that point that was the biggest fight of his career, but this will be the redemption fight, right? Him and Devin Haney have a 6-fight history in the amateurs where they're 3 apiece, supposedly, and this is supposed to be the one that counts, as the saying is being said. But regardless, they go up on the stage, to speak, and everybody speaks. Bernard Hopkins speaks. Oscar De La Hoya speaks. They bring up Ryan Garcia to speak, and of course, Devin Haney confronts him with the allegations. Are you using drugs? What drugs are you using? Well, Ryan Garcia denied emphatically that he uses any type of cocaine, said he would do a public urine test to prove his innocence, which I thought was just a little overboard. I don't know why he needed to necessarily prove himself innocent or why he even needed to answer it. If you guys want to think I'm doing cocaine, go ahead. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? At this point, it's not going to stop anything over here from going on. But of course, Ryan Garcia, knowing from being over transparent, in my opinion, just way over transparent, always sharing what's going on in his life. He feels like this is something that he needs to do, to be transparent about everything he's going through, everything that's said about him. He needs to respond to it. So he does. And Devin Haney follows up with, well, what drugs do you use? And Ryan Garcia, in his overly transparent way, answers and says, I drink and I smoke. And he tried to relate to the rest of the crowd. But at the end of the day, let's be honest. Is everybody in that crowd probably smoke weed and drink? Yeah, but is everybody in that crowd a world athlete competing for a world championship belt against one of the pound for pound best fighters in the sport? No, those people in the crowd that Ryan's pointing at and trying to relate to them and have them resonate with the way he feels don't resonate with you, Ryan. They aren't athletes. They're not boxers who are about to fight and have their life on the line inside a ring against a pound for pound fighter. So they can't resonate with you. But I digress. As the conversation's going on, and Ryan Garcia is being confronted with all of these issues, it doesn't seem like he's dealing with it in a very healthy way. He pretty much is looking for sympathy from what I can tell from the crowd, to understand that he came up from humble beginnings, slept in cars. He said something very interesting during that whole entire speech, said as a child he was defiled. My imagination can go into some bad places. What does defiled mean as a child? But we'll leave that for another conversation. He does mention that and begins to ask for sympathy and asks everybody to come and hang out with Jesus. And he sits down, looking very distressed and thrown off, if you ask me. Also admitted that he may have made a mistake on posting a picture of him having a joint in his mouth. He's just owning everything. And look, transparency is good. Honesty is good. I don't know how necessary it was for him to address that situation. I felt like he probably could have easily went into, it doesn't matter what you think I do, you just be ready April 20th. We could have gotten and stayed on the topic of the fight and probably been able to get through that. And he didn't really have to go in. The old saying goes, what's understood doesn't need to be said. We all saw the pictures. We don't need explanations for what it is. But Ryan Garcia, oversharing. Well, Now it's Devin Haney's turn to get up on the stage, and keep in mind, I could take it a little further back to when Bill Haney was actually speaking, and Henry Garcia started to mention that he said it very nonchalantly that Bill Haney's hair was nappy and he looked like Don King. Okay, a little weird, but okay, right? Okay, all right, a little weird though, but okay. Well, now Devin Haney's on the stage and he's basically saying what he stands for. That listen, I'm not like these guys. He basically was, confronting Ryan Garcia on his openly admitting that he's smoking and drinking and the influence it's having over kids who follow him. And how does that look as a professional athlete? What you do behind closed doors is your business. And I thought he was speaking on some good points, just basically letting it be known that you don't need to share this with the whole entire world. Some point in the conversation, the mother of Ryan Garcia starts to kind of get into a one-on-one confrontation with Bill and Devin Haney. At some point in the conversation, Devin invites her to come be on the mic if she wants to speak, and obviously he was being sarcastic about the situation. I don't want you to come up here and mess with my time. It's my time to talk. But ultimately just saying, listen, it's my time to talk and you should be quiet and let me speak. If you wanted the mic, you should have made some arrangements to be somewhere on this panel that's on the stage. But it's just us and your family, your husband and your son on the stage, and the coaches on the stage. And my father has every right to speak because he's my coach, my manager, and he's also on the panel. But that being said, I digress again to say that at some point, Henry Garcia and Bill Haney get into it, as Bill Haney mentioned something about Henry Garcia wearing a toupee. And Henry Garcia felt it fit to go ahead and speak about Bill Haney's nappy hair again, saying he has nappy hair. You can clearly see that Derek James and Bernard Hopkins, who were on the panel, were very uncomfortable with that situation. I think Henry Garcia put them in a very compromised situation, being that they're black men first, before they're trainers, before they're Ryan Garcia's entourage, before they're loyal to Ryan Garcia. I would think that they have a little bit of loyalty to themselves and people who look like them and their children, if they have sons, and, just a whole entire race of people who have been called nappy-headed since forever in a very racially charged way. No compliment in it, just completely used to degrade a race of people. So, Derek James tries to, encourage Henry Garcia to calm down a little bit. You're doing a little bit too much. Obviously, Devin Haney jumps right into the racism bag. Like, what is that? What is that? What is that? I understand where he was coming from, but we also know Devin is also anything that they say, Devin is gonna use it against them to discredit them. But this was a legitimate issue that Devin had every right to address. But Derek James trying to calm Henry Garcia down as he's doubling down on his feelings about Bill Haney's nappy hair. And ultimately Ryan Garcia had to pull the microphone out of Henry Garcia's hand and, tell him to calm down, because he was really getting caught in his feelings. I guess the whole toupee thing really got under his skin. And, obviously, Derek James is caught in the middle. You could just see the awkward position that he was put in. He was really in an awkward, compromised position to actually still sit there and support his fighter in Ryan Garcia, but at the same time trying to get a little act right on that side of the stage to let it be known. I'm assuming in his mind he had to be like, hey, I am sitting here. Bernard is sitting here. We are black men. We're part of your team. You are insulting us, as well as insulting a whole race of people that I am loyal to. And also, you really aren't even the conversation isn't even about the fight anymore. You're really making the show about you. But Henry Garcia, in his emotions, found the microphone again, took the microphone again, and doubled down and said, it's just a fact. It's not an insult. It is a fact. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is a fact that as a black people, we have nappy hair. He was just speaking the obvious. Anybody with eyes in their head can see that we have nappy hair, according to Henry Garcia. And that's pretty much the show. Pretty much at that point, Mario, I can't remember his name. The Saved by the Bell guy, Mario. I can't remember his name, but he tries to pretty much take control of the stage again, grabs the mic, pause, and commences to try to move it forward into conversations about how the fight's going to go, and tries to steer the awkward moment that everybody on that stage was put in by the Garcia family, compounded by the fact that Ryan Garcia was just looking like he was caught off guard as well. He didn't look like he dealt with the whole entire drug accusation. The whole sobriety issue seemed to have caught him off guard, and I think the sympathy he was looking to get, he didn't necessarily get. And it looks like it threw him off, to be honest with you. Even during the face-off, when they had their final face-off, Devin really got at him, and you could just see he was speechless. He didn't have too many words to say, and pretty much just walked off the stage in a very, you could tell he was frustrated, very distraught. I hope that's the right word. I hope that's the right word to use, to say the least, that Ryan Garcia was very disturbed as to how the press conference went. I don't think he was happy at all with the way his father handled the situation with Bill Haney. I don't think he likes at all how the crowd reacted to his wanting some patience to be given to him, and some sympathy and some understanding on that he's just a human being, and that he's dealing with a bunch of things, and he doesn't always do things the right way, and he has a lot on his shoulders. He's only 5 years old, I believe he said he was, and sitting on over $100 million. What would you do if you were in his position, et cetera, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, the press conference went in a way that, in my opinion, especially happening in Los Angeles, I think Ryan Garcia really just kind of botched up the whole entire thing. I think his family botched up the whole situation. A lot of this stems from the mother, who couldn't stay, in the crowd and allow them to promote the fight. Just wanted to, wanted the attention, clearly was looking for the attention, and got the attention they were looking for. It didn't do anything as far as what's going to happen in the fight, except for the fact that clearly you can see that Ryan Garcia is dealing with some mental blocks and mental health issues, in my opinion. He looks like he's coping with them by drinking and smoking. I only say that because, he professed to not be doing that anymore. He already had acknowledged that this was part of the reason why he had to go and seek some mental health when he went in his hiatus after the Luke Campbell fight. He already explained that he wasn't living right, and that he changed so many things in his life that was going to be conducive to him being the boxer and the athlete that he needed to be, and that he knows he could be. So to see him get on the stage and actually explain to the world that he's still inside of that situation, the situation that he made clear he understood was not conducive to him being a great boxer, if he's still doing it, once again, it speaks to Ryan Garcia's lack of self-control. It speaks to his lack of discipline. It speaks to the fact that he's not on the same page clearly as his team, as his father's also being dysfunctional and obstructive on the stage, taking away from the whole entire event. And also, as a family, it looks like they might speak a little weird behind the closed doors, right? I mean, he said it, and the way he said it, it was just like it was nothing. I don't think Henry Garcia even processed the weight of the words he said. I don't think he even saw or understood what he said, and that's just clearly because he just so normally says it. He just thought he was stating an obvious, as he stated, an obvious fact. How can it be an insult when you guys do have nappy hair, right? But you guys let me know what you think. At the end of the day, the press conference was here. It's gone now. The fighters should be getting back to their camps, getting ready for this fight April 20th. And I'm sure motivated more than ever. I know Devin Haney was motivated more than ever. I think a little bit, we'll see, in the next few days if the tide has changed at all, if the supporters of Ryan Garcia are still standing strong behind him, and if Devin Haney maybe has earned some new supporters. You guys let me know what you think. I'll say this as well, that Devin Haney probably does need a little bit of media training, just a little bit. Like when he got outside of the boxing talk, it seemed uncomfortable, had a hard time, getting the right words together. Not to knock him, but just, you kind of saw the I don't want to say lack of education, because, he got educated at home. He did a lot of homeschooling. He was taken out of regular school in a very early age. He's always been able to get away with not saying much and allowing Bill Haney to speak for him. The opportunities that he was given to speak and getting in that heated conversation with Ryan and Ryan's family, you did see some chinks in his grammar armor, if that makes any sense, in his grammar game and his ability to communicate. But one thing he didn't do is remove any type of confidence in me as to what he's going to do that night against Ryan Garcia. If anybody lost confidence in the boxing space, it had to be Ryan Garcia, because couldn't anybody process him abusing marijuana and drinking during a camp, specifically, like in your life and whatever you do behind closed doors, like Devin Haney said, that's your business. But, especially during a fight camp, an aggressive fight camp that I'm sure Derek James is trying to run to get him into perfect condition and get his head straight in the game. There was a posting also on Ryan Garcia's Instagram where you kind of saw Derek James kind of mentioning to Ryan Garcia, like, man, I got your back, right? But I need you to focus. So you can tell that it's still not a open and shut case yet. It's not done with Ryan Garcia. He's still dealing with his own entitlement issues, his own mental health issues about what he believes it should be. And also, I would think that somebody in his team at this point would sit him down and explain to him that not everything's not for everybody. All information doesn't need to be communicated outside in these streets. And this social media world is a rough world. They'll tear you down in 2 seconds. You should protect your peace of mind a little bit better than the way you did. Keep it boxing, keep it simple. Talk your ish to Devin Haney and Bill Haney. Promote this fight, but at the end of the day, oversharing just seems like it's going to lead you down a very dark, murky, unforgiving road. And I think he might have gotten a taste of it this evening. Like I said, he looked like he was totally disturbed. He did not look like he wanted to be there anymore. The way he got off that stage after that face-off, it looked like he was running away. It looked like he wasn't. I cannot believe that he was pleased with the way that press conference went. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Hey guys, remember, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscription button, hit that bell icon so you get all the alerts when I'm dropping this content. And tell a friend to tell a friend. It's your boy Claymore Rain. This is the ATP Combat Media Show. And at this point, we out.
Yeah.